Hi, my name is Andre. I'm Comrades Green number 54978, and in this video I want to talk to you about tapering for the Comrades Marathon, the ultimate human race. Now, tapering is the process where we make a drastic reduction in our weekly kilometers or our training load in the final weeks or final days before Comrades. Our goal is to be fresh, fully recovered, and rested and healthy on race day. So if you arrived at the start and somebody asks you, how are you? You want to answer, I am in showroom condition. And if you can answer that, you've done your tapering well. Now, some people start tapering about 6 weeks before Comrades. Others do it 5, 4, 3 or 2 weeks before Comrades. And I've noticed there's some runners that don't taper at all. I follow a 3-week tapering program. I've done that since my first Comrades in 2005, and 3 weeks works very well for me. Now, if you start to taper too early, you run the risk that you're going to peak way before race day. Maybe a week or a few days before race day, you're going to reach your peak and then slowly start losing fitness. If you start tapering too late, then you risk that you're going to be overtrained. Your body's still going to need some recovery. And you also risk that you can easier get an injury on race day because of your muscles that's already tired and trying to recover, and then you take on a 90-kilometer race. Now, for some people who don't taper at all, the only logical reason I can find that makes sense for me is if you run Comrades, but your main event is something else. Maybe you are training for the Washi 100-miler and you use Comrades as a training run to prepare yourself for the Washi. Then you probably keep on training, you run Comrades, you train some more, and then only you start tapering for the Washi 100-miler. But otherwise, I think it's a crazy strategy if you don't taper at all. Now, if you during the tapering period don't train at all, so if you take 3 weeks before Comrades and you don't train at all, the first 2 weeks you probably lose no fitness, and in week 3 you're going to lose just a little bit of fitness. So if you've got an injury or an illness or the slightest of a niggle, I recommend that you don't train at all and sort it out. It is better to lose a bit of fitness but arrive at the start healthy and injury free than to start even with the slightest of a niggle. A small niggle at the start of Comrades will have a compounding effect throughout the race day. It's going to cause you a lot of trouble. So rather sort it out and don't train during tapering than starting with an injury. If you have a small niggle, I suggest that you take 1 or 2 rest days, and if the niggle don't improve, that you get professional help. Maybe a physiotherapist or a biokineticist, or maybe your general practitioner doctor can assist you to recover fully from your niggle. This is how I taper. I calculate my weekly average kilometers for the previous 8 weeks. In these 8 weeks, this was my hard training where I ran between about 70 to just over 100 kilometers every week. So I take that average, and then the first week of tapering, I reduce my weekend long runs. So the Saturday, Sunday runs, I reduce so that my weekly average for the week would be somewhere between 60 and 75% of my hard training week average. Then in the second week, I again reduce the Saturday and Sunday long runs, but this time to about 40% of my hard week average. The midweek runs and my quality sessions I still keep the same. Then in the final week, 1 week before Comrades, I do very little running. I'll usually on the Sunday, a week before Comrades, I'll just do a very easy, light 10-kilometer run. And then on the Tuesday, I go and do speed repeats, where I'll run a total of somewhere between 6 and 8 kilometers. The rest of the time, I rest. I want to be super fresh on a race day. I see some training programs still run a bit on a Thursday and also on the Saturday morning just before the race. I'm a bit more careful. I don't want to trip and fall and then start Comrades with an injury, even a slight scratch. No, that's not for me. So I rather rest and have a good Comrades because I'm well rested. Some people say you're going to be a bit more sluggish if you don't do a light run on the Saturday, the day before Comrades. I don't mind being a little sluggish. The first kilometer on Comrades anyway, I take very, very slowly, and I use that to get in the zone and get ready for the 90-kilometer run. The full detail of my final week of tapering, I've got a separate video just on the last week of Comrades. You can find the link in the description if you haven't seen that video. There's a couple of big mistakes I think runners make during tapering. And the first big mistake is runners chasing kilometers during tapering. Now, 3 weeks before Comrades, you can't get fitter. So there's no more opportunity to get fitter, so it's a silly strategy to chase kilometers. And I know runners do that because runners hate resting, but also a lot of runners, myself included, creates a numerical target that we try to chase from 1st of January through to Comrades. For some runners it's 800 kilometers, others try to reach 1,000, 1,200, some 1,500 or higher. And then when tapering starts, we check our logbook and notice, oh, we may be 250 kilometers short, and now we want to play catch up. But that's not a good idea. Don't chase kilometers, don't do very long runs 3 weeks before Comrades. The second big mistake is running through an injury, even the slightest of niggle. It's not worth it. You need to recover. Don't train if you have a niggle. And then the third big mistake is I see runners in that final week before Comrades, and some of them at the expo a day or two before Comrades, they go for their first ever sport massage. Now, if you're not used to a sport massage and it's the first time you do it, it could cause some discomfort and a bit of pain. A sport massage can be wonderful, but if you're not used to it, I think it's better to avoid it when it gets close to Comrades. Don't go for your first one and experiment with it. Sometimes the physiotherapists try to get rid of knots, but it can be painful, and you can sit with a bit of pain in the muscle after the massage. So if you don't know what you're doing, rather get that sport massage after Comrades. So a few other things I do during tapering. I try to get more sleep. I usually try to go to bed about half an hour earlier, and I avoid technology in the bedroom to make it easier to fall asleep. While you sleep, your muscles recover better, and you're also more well rested in the morning after a good night's sleep. I try to eat a little bit more healthy, so fewer takeaways, more salad, fruit, good protein. I drink more water during tapering, and I reduce my coffee and my alcohol intake. I think that helps a bit. I take some extra vitamins, and I focus on vitamins that will boost my immune system. You can ask your doctor or pharmacist to recommend the right vitamins for you. Oh, and then a very difficult one. I avoid sick people. It's maybe one of my biggest concerns in the last 3 weeks building up to race day. I don't want to get sick. So I stay away from sick people. I try to avoid crowded places. Now, I know for some people, maybe you're a teacher or you work with large crowds, or you have to travel a lot in public transport, consider putting up your COVID mask, use hand sanitizer, wash your hands frequently, try to stay safe and healthy and not pick up the germs from other sick people. So that's my story about tapering. If you taper differently, or if you've got questions about tapering, please comment below and we can discuss that. If you enjoyed this video, please consider to hit the like button and subscribe. I hope your training and your tapering goes well. I hope you arrive at the start in showroom condition. All the best.